I think that in general, communicating extremely quickly, responding quickly, just leveraging follow-up and staying on top of people through email is one of the more important parts of being an investor, frankly. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode here on the Multifamily Wealth Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing 3 extremely tactical and actionable tips for multifamily investors that want to better manage their email inbox. This is going to be a very specific episode, but I think folks listening to this, multifamily investors listening to this, are going to walk away with some very, very simple ways to increase the effectiveness of how they're managing their inbox. They're going to prevent things from slipping through the cracks, and they're going to get a better hold on their business. And I think the folks who are really going to get something out of this are the ones who are managing tasks at scale, whether they are managing their own properties and all the communication that comes with that, or an in-house management company, whether they're managing a PM, but they have a lot of properties and they're trying to hold them accountable as best they can. Folks who are just working with a lot of service providers or vendors. I think everybody's going to get something out of this conversation, but this has been something I've spent a lot of time trying to nail down in my own life and business, given that we manage a handful of different PMs. We have an in-house management company. We do a high volume of smaller deals, so there's an increased amount of communication required to kind of make sure you got your eyes on everything, make sure nothing slips through the cracks. So I think this is going to be a very actionable episode. But before I actually get into that, I want to remind everyone that our newest investment offering is live for Aligned Real Estate Partners. This is a 72-unit deal in a great submarket within the seacoast of New Hampshire that we source directly to the seller. This was sourced from a direct mail piece, so a true direct-to-seller deal that we're buying from a 25-plus year mom and pop owner. One of the owners lives on the property. We are buying this at a great basis, very simple business plan, healthy in-place DSCR. We have to spend minimal dollars in CapEx. Most of the units are already renovated. So this is a great deal from a risk-adjusted return standpoint, not taking a lot of risk from a business plan standpoint, not a lot of execution risk. We have a great team behind it. Obviously, we've done 30-plus deals in New Hampshire over the last 3 years, 300-plus units. We've gone full cycle, whether that's selling properties or executing a refi and delivering 100% of investor capital back on multiple deals in the last few years in New Hampshire. And we have a great joint venture partner on this deal who you'll learn more about as you work through the documents if you're interested in this investment opportunity, who we've done 3 deals with in the last 2 years. We have a 45-unit, a 23-unit, and we did a 23-unit portfolio. One of the deals that we just did, we closed 15 months ago, refinanced this deal in late August, and we just returned 100% of investor capital on that deal. So just knocked it out of the park. So we're really excited about this opportunity. If you are interested in learning more about it, I'm going to link to the deal room in the show notes of this episode. So go click down there to check it out. You can also join our investor list using the link in the show notes. And by joining our investor list, you're going to receive some automated emails to schedule a call and to learn more about this opportunity as well. So long story short, check that out if you're interested. But this episode is about emails and how we can better manage our email inbox. Now, the number one thing that I want to share as just one of the most helpful tips as it relates to anybody managing their inbox is to download some kind of email management plugin, Google Chrome extension, etc. And that's basically to not just work out of, call it Gmail or Outlook or whatever your service provider is. We use Gmail, and the service we use to help with this is called Boomerang. Boomerang does a number of different things, but specifically what we use it for is to bounce back emails or, to boomerang emails, to use their company name, that haven't gotten a reply. So for example, let's say I'm emailing a lender to ask them if they received the appraisal report back in a deal that we're under contract on. That email goes out. It's easy to forget that you sent that email and to not remember to follow up to confirm if it has or to make sure that the recipient saw it, etc. What Boomerang allows you to do is to check a box to bounce that back to your inbox if you don't receive a reply in a certain amount of days, and you can set that date within Boomerang. There's so many applications for this. I just mentioned one, broad kind of vertical in the business, which is coordinating transactions. We use it a ton on the property management side. So for example, we receive a utility bill that we want to send over to our management company for them to pay, so it shows up on our owner statement. We send that out. I always set that to Boomerang back in case we don't get an email back so that I can then go in there and remind them, hey, did you guys see this? Some kind of business plan initiative we want to implement at the property, right? You want to renew leases that are coming up on X date. You send it out towards the end of the month, but you want to bounce that back before the first of the month so that you give ample notice to those residents, whatever it might be. Have that come back to you. Once you start utilizing this, you're going to realize there are literally endless applications as it relates to the different types of people that you're communicating with in your business, where the amount of emails that just go out that you need an answer to or that require action of the recipient that don't get a reply and you just forget to follow up, this takes that risk out of the equation, right? Which, as you grow your business, is going to become a much bigger and bigger problem because you're interacting with more people. The second tip that I want to share here is using the snooze function in your email provider. Again, we use Gmail, so I know this is a feature in Gmail. Frankly, I don't know if it is in Outlook, but I would assume that it is. But let's just take this one step further, that first item one step further. Let's say you send an email to, again, your PM. It's about a unit that they're renovating. You want to make sure that, when they're scoping out the work, that they include a line item for new light fixtures. Just making stuff up here. You send it to your PM or whoever is responsible for this, your contractor. They say, yep, no problem. So they've acknowledged receipt, but you still want to confirm that they are implementing whatever you have emailed them about. So when I get yep, sounds good, we'll do so later this week, we'll order them later this week, whatever it is, and you want to confirm that they actually execute on what you've requested from them, snooze that to pop back up in your inbox 2 days later, 1 day later, however many days later that you think you need to in order to follow up with it. So long story short, it takes it out of your inbox. So it doesn't just sit there as an unread email, takes it out, and then it bounces it back into your inbox later that week, early the following, whatever you wanted to make sure that you're actually handling that different, whatever that request is. Let's say you send an email to a lender. You're looking for a term sheet and a deal you have under contract. You send it out on Tuesday. Yep, we'll take a look at it. We'll get you an answer by the end of the week. You're a busy person. You don't know if you're going to remember to follow up with them by the end of the week if they don't get back to you. Snooze that email back so that it shows back up in your inbox on the Friday morning so that you can follow up and actually hold them accountable to getting that to you. Again, endless applications when you start to think about how often you are asking somebody for something, or you're touching base on a topic, but you want them to get back to you. So again, great use of the snooze functionality. Lastly, just scheduling emails is something that I found to be extremely helpful, even as it relates to just routine to-dos. So something that a lot of folks who are listening to this podcast have heard me talk about is the importance of sending some kind of email communication to a list that you have of people that are familiar with you and your business on a monthly basis. Whether those are service providers, whether those are vendors, whether those are other investors, what have you. Letting them know that you are still in the market to buy, giving a little update on your business, sharing some value as it relates to the market, whatever. Maybe you're forgetting to do that. Maybe you constantly forget to do that every month. Set up a recurring scheduled message to bounce back as a to-do in your inbox. Send out monthly email newsletter, and you have that send out on the 25th of every month, so you got a week to do it before the 1st. You can do this through Boomerang. You can do this through plenty of other email applications. Other scheduled messages that are helpful is you touch base with somebody like, hey, we should catch up. They're like, hey, I'm going on vacation for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. I'm not going to be able to take a look at this until then. So you write up your email, you schedule it to go out in 10 days. Or let's say you batch work your emails. You're doing this over the weekend and you want to follow up with a handful of different people coming early in the week. Schedule them to go out at the times that you want them to go out at. All kinds of applications for that as well. And specifically what we use it for in our business, and this is probably not the best way to do this, but it's a system that works for us, is as just reminders for different tasks, right? Upload all bank statements for our entities to the appropriate Google Drive folders, whatever it might be. That gets sent out at the end of the month as a to-do, and then I remember to either delegate that work or complete it myself. There's a million recurring tasks. I'm not going to outline them here in this episode, but I think that in general, once you start to adopt it, you start to develop a better control over all of the different moving parts within your business that you need to actually focus on. And there are probably better solutions. You could use project management softwares like Monday and Asana. There's probably to-do checklists, resources. But I think the reality is most people have a hard time adopting anything, whether it's a software, whether it's a new process, whatever it is. Most people just have a really hard time increasing the number of platforms that they use on a daily basis to accomplish their work. So for me, I realize that. I've recognized that as a shortfall. I'm not good at adopting new stuff. I just work out of my email inbox, as do most folks, I would assume. So, all right, let's use the email inbox as the best in the most optimized way that we can to ensure that we're getting the most out of it. So some of this might be like obvious to folks. I mean, maybe it is for people that are like much better at email than I am. But like as somebody who literally spends half their day in their email inbox, which a lot of people are like, you shouldn't do that. That's not a good use of your time. I think that in general, communicating extremely quickly, responding quickly, just leveraging follow up and staying on top of people through email is one of the more important parts of being an investor, frankly, because speed and timing and ability to make decisions quickly, ability to communicate quickly is a really valuable trait if you want to be someone who develops a great reputation in your marketplace, whether it's with brokers, lenders, other investors, service providers, whoever. You want to make sure you're getting the most out of your inbox. So hope this episode was helpful for you. If it was, please consider leaving the podcast a rating and review. And again, just a reminder that if you are somebody who is thinking about investing passively, check out our new opportunity. Again, I'll link to the deal room in the show notes. And if this one isn't for you, but you're thinking about, or the timing isn't right, but you'd like to learn more about investing with us as a business, again, you can join our investor list in the show notes. You'll receive a bunch of information about our business. And if you want to schedule a call, you can certainly do so with me. But again, thank you all for listening, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.